Why do I have a sense of deja vu? Here I am sitting in my car, same view as my last trip, and I'm returning almost to the same place. I am heading back to Palomar Mountain, but this time I am going to stay at the Observatory Campground. Picked my site based on the fact that it said there was shade, and I'm super pleased. It's about a little after 2 in the afternoon. My parking spot is fully shaded. This again is a walking campsite, kind of like Fry Creek, but I feel a lot better sleeping in my car because of the way the parking site is situated. I think those tables belong to site 34, and I think that's mine back here. I don't think it matters. I don't think anybody's going to be here. It's a nice big open area. When I set up my tent, I don't think I want to do it there with those overhanging branches. I don't know. I'm definitely not sitting up there with all the twigs and that. I can hear rushing water. Okay, the creek must be down there. And there are a lot of flying insects. I don't think you can see them. It's really peaceful with the sound of water. It's a cool day in the 70s, but there are a lot of bugs flying around. I'm going to put on that bug screen, crack open a cool drink, and relax before I set the tent up. I really don't plan to sleep in the tent, but I wanted to put it up as a bug shelter. Okay, so far so good. I'm not sweating too badly. I have got the tent up, and I've got the bottom staked and the bottom portion of the rainfly staked. I haven't staked out the middle of the rainfly, not even sure I need to. There's not going to be rain and probably not much wind. Let's have a look. Okay, this is called the Outbound Backyard Festival Tent, and I bought it through Woods, which is a Canadian company. I've seen this one listed on, possibly on Amazon and on Walmart and Target.com. It is from the front. Yeah, I'm not going to do a detailed review of the tent. I think I might save that for a future video. But I will say that it is easy for an overweight 57-year-old woman whose knees are less than perfect to set up. That is, as long as the ground is soft enough to pound stakes in. All right, I'm trying to be moderately more healthy than I often am, so I'm actually snacking on a banana instead of junk food. Here's the source of the rushing water sound. Looks like they have a culvert, and the creek's flowing down there. Got a mini waterfall, very mini. A bit of a drop off. Good morning. I'm just taking a quick walk around the loop. And one thing to note about this campsite is most of the sites are walk-in tent sites. Here you have a whole bunch of parking spaces that are numbered by your site. And then some of them are close. And this is kind of cool. If I can check that out. Got a little bridge to cross to get to some of the sites. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. Especially not with that heavy-ass gazelle tent. Dang. I would have had to pull my wagon across here like I did at Fry Creek. At Fry Creek, I just had to walk in a little ways. But I think you get a much more natural feel over here. One of the sites is way up there. It would be a pain hauling gear like that. And then because I like to sleep in my car, I don't think I'd want to sleep just parked next to a bunch of other cars. Okay, I guess that's where the camp host would be if there were a camp host. Walk-in sites. And another bridge. I don't even see the tables here, so I guess you're gonna walk up the hill. Okay, there's one of them. Don't know where the others are, and I'm not going to go look this time. There's a little amphitheater. I don't know if this is where they do the star parties. I think they have some educational events here once in a while. This is Observatory Campground. And as I mentioned in my drive-through, some of the sites actually have little places, little pads where you can set up a telescope. But there are also group events. Just for the record, some of the restrooms here, the small ones, are vault toilets. Over by the shower house is where there are regular toilets and running water. I've said in my drive-through that I thought this one was more RV accessible. I'm going to take that back. Maybe a teardrop? Vans? The problem is a lot of the sites have shared parking spaces and they're narrow. So you wouldn't be able to park an RV in one of those sites. For example, here, there are sites 25 and 26. I've been in campsites and campgrounds where a single parking space is that wide. I'm in the sun. Hopefully you can see that. Wide enough for a single RV, maybe. Wide enough for an RV while someone else is camping next to you? No. However, if you look on the Forestry Service website for this campground, they'll tell you which sites and what equipment is allowable. I mean, my site's the same way. If there were another person, their car would be right next to mine, really close. Yeah, that's exactly what happened on night 3. Even though the campground is almost empty, I have someone sharing the site next to me. But this is a public campground. For all I know, they made reservations online. You know, I was friendly, not irritated like I was at Lovell Canyon on public land. They have a perfect right to be where they are. Even though why when there's a whole empty campground would you want to be right next to someone? But hey, I had a reservation. Maybe they did too. Maybe they didn't want to risk first come, first serve. Or maybe they just feel comfortable parking next to someone. I don't know. This one seems pretty ridiculously narrow, but then it's probably the same as mine. And this is really cool. Here you got 31 and 32. Damn, their picnic tables are close together. But over here, you can't see it. There is a hidden 32A campsite. Park over here, parallel parked. And you wouldn't know it was there except for there's this old wooden sign. Wouldn't access it through there because there's some overhang. But over this way, I've already walked up there once. You wouldn't want to walk through the other sites, but you can get to it. It's kind of behind these trees. You can get to it that way. Or if you didn't want to disturb, I think this one is a double fee site, 31 and 32. I don't see the double fee site sign, but there's a single fire pit and those tables are super close together, so I think it is a double site. And then 32A is up there. You can kind of see the barbecue. That would be perfect if you liked to tent camp and didn't mind hauling it up. Maybe take a wagon. You'd be a little more secluded. And there's a trail sign, even though I don't really see a trail. There's a marker. Maybe you just have to walk up before you find the actual trail. This is right by my site. So, would you stay at Observatory Campground or Fry Creek Campground? Let me know in the comments. There was hardly anybody here last night. I mean, there was me, and I did see a minivan, but it was gone by the time I took my walk at 7 a.m. And I saw a black truck parked at a campsite, at one of the walk-in type sites, and that's it. I mean, it's been dead quiet and super peaceful. I mean, I am sitting right next to the road. Let me show you. I didn't realize that when I booked the site. See that up there on top of the ridge? That is the road. But it's a very quiet road. It is Canfield Road, and it goes up and dead ends at the observatory. And even though people live on Palomar Mountain, I don't think there are that many more residents up the road. You go up a mile or two, and then you get to the part that's owned by Caltech. And that's it. So the road is pretty quiet. There'll be a car every now and then, but I mean, I didn't even hear anything last night when I was sleeping. Nice to camp by the sound of running water. I'm really enjoying the creek, even though it is pretty buggy here. I do think that I may have misspoke when I did my drive-through tour, and I thought that this place was a little more RV accessible. It's really not. It's still mostly tent camping or van camping. And there may be one or two sites that accommodate small trailers. You can check the U.S. Forestry website. And remember that Fry Creek is absolutely, it's a tent site. I mean, it's tent camping. There's no way you could park a big rig in there. For $15 a night in San Diego County, I mean, that is a steal. There is hardly any free camping in San Diego County. I mean, you can go to Anza Borrego Desert State Park, which it's already too hot to really camp there. And that's just about it. A lot of people are always like, oh, I like to go to San Diego and be a van lifer. It is getting increasingly difficult based on what I read in the media and on reports online from full-time van lifers. San Diego does not like van lifers. Okay, they don't like RVers. There's a huge homeless population and it puts people on edge, and that may not be fair, but that is the way it is. And more neighborhoods, I mean, if they see a car they don't recognize, they'll call the police and they'll come and ticket you, and it's a big ass fine. So if you want to come to San Diego, I would say you are best off booking a forestry site or a state park. Palomar State Park is much more accessible to RVs, but it's also double the price. It's $30 or $40 a night, so more than double the price. Lots of hip camps around. Mount Laguna, I mean, I highly recommend Mount Laguna forestry campgrounds up there. There's Burnt Rancheria, which I haven't stayed at, and Laguna Campground. They are super nice, higher elevation, so you'll be cooler in the summer. This place here, I mean, even though it's a mountain, it still gets pretty hot in the summer, but Laguna is higher elevation, so it's a little more pleasant. Also county parks that are like $30, $35 a night. I mean, there are quite a few county parks in San Diego with camping, including one that's like really near me, Guajome, which is in Oceanside, and then Dos Picos in Ramona, which is nice, but probably pretty hot in the summer. And what else is there? A few county parks with lakes. Go on San Diego County website and search for campsites, campgrounds. But quite a few county parks have fairly reasonable campgrounds, but they do book out pretty fast, especially on the weekends. I was really pleasantly surprised by Palomar Mountain, the two forestry campgrounds, Observatory and Fry Creek. During the week, they're dead, at least in May. Maybe when the kids let out, maybe it'll get slightly more crowded during the week, but you know, parents still need to work. And the campgrounds don't seem to get too crowded during the week, so great places to stay if you're in the San Diego area. And no bears. Remember, we don't have bears this far south. We got mountain lions, we got bobcats, we don't have bears. So you can enjoy these forestry sites and not have to worry about hanging your food or storing it in a bear box. Do keep it locked up in a cooler that is tight enough that the raccoons can't get in, or keep it in your car, but you don't have to worry about bears. The rattlesnakes, I forgot to mention the rattlesnakes. Yeah, we got lots of those, but I haven't seen any. I think the last rattlesnake I saw in the wild was a couple of years ago, and that was coming down the Cajon Pass, and my mother and daughter and I stopped at a state park that had a lake, Silverwood Lake, I think it was, and my mom was walking along, taking a nice brisk walk. She's in her 80s, but she walks very briskly, and she didn't see the big-ass rattlesnake, you know, slithering across the path, and I'm sitting behind her, walking behind her, yelling, "Snake, snake!" She didn't step on it. She didn't get bitten or anything. Like to tease her about that. But you just have to be a little cautious, know your surroundings. All right, it's another goodbye from beautiful Palomar Mountain. I wasn't going to leave so early. It's about 9:30 on Wednesday morning, 3 days off grid though. I was ready to go. So I don't know why, but last night somebody decided to park next to me and camp in the site next to me. Public campground site was available. You know, there was a quiet couple, so they didn't bother me much. I warned them that I would be sleeping in my car, and that I did get up very early to use the restroom, but they didn't have a problem with that. I don't know if they had reserved that site online the way I reserved mine online, or if they just thought, okay, that's a nice shady site, but there was hardly anybody in the campground, so I don't know. But it worked out very well. They were quiet, I was quiet. They were respectful, I was respectful. And it was getting warm and the bugs were out, so I decided to pack it up and come on home. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. If not, that's okay. I will see you in my next video. That I take one more pan of this pull-off area, same place I stopped in my last video.